Hey, this is Samantha Scafidi, and I play Victoria Hayes in the Terrifier franchise, and you are listening to Don't Go Out There podcast.
In a world where zombies, ghosts, serial killers, and vampires all exist, it's Nico, Brian, Mike, and Dustin, and they are all that stand between you and the films that could end the world. Welcome to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast. Just want to thank all of our fans and listeners. Really appreciate the support. You guys are awesome. Before we get into tonight's film review, just want to give a quick shout out to our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Everything about our podcast is on the website. All of our episodes and interviews, if you want to check those out. We've done some incredible interviews in the past. Go check them out there in a specific tab by themselves so you don't have to scroll through hundreds of episodes on Apple or Spotify, etc. We also have our store if you want to grab a shirt, a mouse pad, a hat, all that good stuff. We'd love to see your pictures, rep your favorite podcast. And Shan's Etsy page is also attached if you want to grab a tumbler. All of our social media links are on there as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Like us, subscribe us, follow us, all that good stuff. And the last thing I want to shout out on our website is our Patreon. We call it Blood Donors. We have the traditional monthly reoccurring kind. If you want to support us, help us pay the bills, as we say. Or if there's a movie you want us to review, that option is available as well. Just check out our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Also, if you haven't noticed, we've recently joined the Believe Network. So there's some ads on our program now. But if you want ad-free content, go check us out on Blood Donors. The ad-free episodes will be available there. We appreciate your support. We hope you enjoy the episode. Is that a dog? Go put that thing back in the pantry.
See, and now you know why you're Mike Vick in my phone.
Whoa. That wasn't my dog. I ain't got a dog. I ate it already.
He didn't eat him. He killed him for the love of the game.
All right, guys, jumping to the film review. We're continuing on in December with Brother Mike's pick. Mike, you want to announce your pick and why you picked it?
Yeah, I went with 2024's Terrifier 3. It was overdue, some might say, on this show. And it was time to go ahead and do the trilogy. Now, I was kind of hoping that this movie would be the completion of the trilogy, but fear not, Dustin, Brian. There will be a fourth Terrifier. Yeah, all right.
Okay,
well, that's... Are you going to kill him first?
The courts might. Courts might shut that down. Let's go.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, you may be right. It's possible. But look, it's the same thing as the other ones for me, man. Like, I really like the character of Art. I think Thornton does a great job. There's some great kills. And then there's just a whole lot of shit I don't give a fuck about. Now, that being said, in this movie, the only difference is some of the character work is really good. I just wish it was in a different movie. Some of the way they address trauma and things like that with the characters, the true crime podcast, like there's some good stuff that they touch on. It's just kind of in a movie that I don't think it really fits. And I'll get into some of my critiques of how they kind of bring Art back to life, but it's significantly better than a dog pissing on it. That's for sure. Because only Nightmare on Elm Street would do some stupid shit like that. But, all in all, it's the exact same thing as the other two for me, with just a smidge more story. Yeah, I liked it better the first time I watched it last year than I did today. It could have just been the mood I was in. But also, we're watching a significantly better clown-oriented thing for our series. So to go to this, I'm kind of like, this is just a couple really cool kills. And there is some cool kills. There's also some bad kills, which I'm going to get into. I think this is one of the first ones I think has a bad kill. I think it sucks. Go ahead.
I wonder which one that one is. I don't disagree. There are some bad kills, but I wonder which one you're talking about. All right, I'll go next. I still think this movie is disappointing from what I wanted from Terrifier 3. I just wanted more explanation. I mean, they kind of, in that little letter scene, explain what brought Art back to life, the little pale girl, all that stuff. But I just wanted more of that. I wanted more flashbacks with Sienna and her dad explaining her character, her sword, which they contradict throughout it all. But I really just don't take these movies too seriously. I just enjoy them for art and what they are. Brian went with me to Scaradise in October. I've met so many of the Terrifier cast. They're all super nice, and I just really have not had one bad interaction with them. So I kind of give these movies like a bump if I've met a lot of their characters and I've had good interactions with them, except Tom Savini. He's kind of a prick, but I'll get to that later. But I don't take this movie too seriously. I was disappointed at my first watch just because I wanted them to flesh out more things. But when it comes to like a Terrifier movie, I can just watch it for art and just kind of enjoy what it is and not take it too seriously. But it's still not a great movie or anything, some cinematic masterpiece. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I think it's just okay. But it is my least favorite of the three. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, it's pretty well known I've hated this franchise coming into this one. I mean, I appreciate, like you said, everyone that we've interviewed, everyone that I've met from these three movies. They're fantastic people. But I am able to separate the art from the real people. And these movies are just not for me. That includes this one. I mean, I probably sound like a broken record for my review of Terrifier 2, but it's just like Damien Leone thinks up some kills and then tries to build a script around them instead of the other way around. I don't know if that's true. It just seems that way. And either way, it just makes for a convoluted plot and gore porn for the sake of gore porn, in my opinion. And I'm just trying to be diplomatic here because, again, I'm very thankful for all of the wonderful guests that we've had on. And I know we have a ton of fans that love this franchise. I'm just not one of them. And I don't see the draw to it at all. Not even a little bit.
Brian, I don't disagree with what you said. Sorry, Dustin, I didn't mean to cut you off.
There you go.
About thinking of the kills and then kind of just figuring a story out around it. I wouldn't argue with you if you feel that way. Like, I get it.
Correct. Completely agree.
This movie sucks. Like, I hear what you say, Nico. And meeting people can make you appreciate things like, oh, they were so nice, so I'm gonna be more generous to the score. But here's the thing. Ben Affleck, I'm sure, is a nice guy. He made Geely. Sucked. Zoe Saldana, I'm sure, is a sweetheart. She was in Amelia Perez. Sucked. Good people can make crappy movies. So this movie is just god-awful. The whole franchise is, and I'm not even talking about just Terrifier. I went back and I watched All Hallows Eve, and it sucked even worse somehow. But
I've heard that's terrible. I've heard that one's terrible.
It is. It's funny you said that, Brian, because when I finished watching it for this rewatch, I've seen it twice. I saw it in theater when it came out, and then I watched it the other day when I did my notes. What I thought was, I paused it, walked around the house a little bit, and I was like, I bet this is how Damien Leone writes these movies. He's like, oh, what if we did this? Oh, and then what if Art did this? That'd be a gnarly kill. And then someone's like, okay, how are we going to get from that first one to the second one? And he's like, oh, who cares? They don't care about that. Like that's just what it is. Like I don't think he puts any thought into the destination or the map to get from point A to point B. It's only destination for him. And when he tries to put some thought into it, it doesn't make sense. This movie has some of the most convoluted lore that I've ever seen in my life. It doesn't make sense. And even when it's explained, it's like, well, that's dumb. Like, why? And I hate everything about this movie. I think it's unnecessarily gory just for shock value. Like I've said about the first two movies in the franchise. Yeah. And it's style over substance, and the style doesn't even do it for me. So it is what it is.
I mean, you two aren't alone in that line of thinking. So I get it for sure. A lot of people that don't like this franchise, and I get it.
Those are called smart people.
Oh, all right. Damn. All right, let's say you guys got anything else before we jump into scene by scene?
Dustin said, fuck you to all the listeners who like Terrifier.
No, I just want better for them.
Oh.
Valid.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, guys, let's get this over with. How about that? We open up in some random family's house on Christmas, where a kid wakes her mother up because of some footsteps on the roof. Naturally, nobody believes her, and she once again arose to such a clatter, she sprung out of the bed to see what was the matter. Well, what was the matter was that Art the Clown was downstairs. He removes an axe from his bag and goes upstairs and murders everyone. We are then treated to him listening to Christmas music while making cookies and finds the little girl hiding in the cabinet before a 5 years later prior title card. We head back to the end of Terrifier 2, where, after being beheaded by Sienna Shaw, Art's decapitated body somehow reanimates and kills an investigating police officer. We jump to the asylum, where we had that disgusting scene last entry, and Victoria Hayes, interview, don'tgoothere.com, is now possessed and, don't forget, has given birth to Art's freaking head. Chris Jericho calls for backup, and the dude is, quote, taking a shit. And I don't think he had this on the list. We see Victoria desecrating a corpse, to put it lightly, and attack Chris Jericho while Art's headless corpse has now found its way to the asylum, where they both literally tear Y2J apart. And I guess it reattaches itself to Art's body. The head does. I don't know. Art and Victoria ride the subway and kill a cosplayer off screen so Art can get some new clothes. They get off at an abandoned, rat infested house where I guess they go into hibernation or take a long nap or something, because Vicky gets in the bathtub of blood, slits her wrists, and Art sits in a rocking chair. And that's the end of this godforsaken opening.
Starting off, I'm a big fan of the Christmas setting. We don't get a ton of these movies, so I'm happy they chose the holiday. Fun fact, the mom here, Jennifer, is played by Chrissy Fox, who is married to Rob Zombie's younger brother, Spider-1. Not sure how she didn't notice the door downstairs was open initially walking by, honestly. Like, I'm so paranoid nowadays, I stay checking my doors. I just don't know how she didn't notice that. Quintessential horror movie husband. This guy stinks big time, and you can't help but not feel bad when he dies later. Timmy, their son, is already a get-off-my-lawn kind of guy at this young age. Kid would rather sleep than go see Santa. Damn, this kid's already traumatized. Juliet should be a lot more scared. This Santa is way too skinny, and I've never seen him tote an axe before. Like, you should be a lot more scared, kid. I give the film credit, like we have so many times in the past, brave to kill kids, but I do appreciate that it wasn't shown, just implied. No clue how it takes Jennifer, Jen, whatever you want to call her, so long to wake up hearing and feeling these axe chops while laying in bed right beside her husband. Like, I don't understand that at all. You can hate Terrifier all you want, and I get it, but Art dressed as Santa I think is cool and fun. You know, nice shining nod here. I'm going to go see that tomorrow in IMAX, the Stanley Kubrick masterpiece, Brian's favorite. Big props to the FX team, Tinsley Studios, and per Samantha Scafidi. Go listen to that interview at don'tgooutthere.com. The best in the business when it comes to prosthetics. I mean, I don't know. This was just what she said, but I think they do a good job. Juliet fumbles the bag. She almost survives, but makes just a bit too much noise under this sink. You know, like I've already mentioned, I re-listened to our instant, and I still have a love-hate relationship with this opening. You know, if this was just a standalone kind of a trailer promo, like, I love it. But in the entirety of the film, like, where does this fit? Like, it just doesn't make sense where it fits at chronologically. 5-year backwards time jump, didn't need this at all, and I still believe that the film should have just started here. This scene immediately after Terrifier 2, I think, is still a decent enough opening to get the fans invested. I am not a fan of this headless Art walking around. I think it's goofy. And what is Art now? The Creeper from Jeepers Creepers taking body parts he needs to survive? Shout out wrestling legend, Mr. Chris Jericho. I don't know why, but I was pleasantly surprised how like super nice he was to meet. Like, he genuinely seemed invested in every person he met.
He's
he
Canadian.
was one of hello, Canada, or good night, Canada.
They're all nice.
That's true. But he really was one of the nicest superstars I've ever met. He was really nice. Hell of a sight. Art's head and Vicky nom-nomming all over a nurse. All right. Where did the officer's head go from the subway, though? Like, didn't need any more once you got into the psych ward? Like, what happened? Pretty cool to me to see Chris Jericho get brutally massacred in a horror movie. Not going to lie, I did like that. Funny meta moment as real Art the Clown gets to see a cosplayer on the subway. Vicky would be overstimulating my ass, though, if I'm Art with this nonstop horn blowing. Like, shut the hell up, lady. Said it many times on the show, rats are disgusting. Don't want anything to do with them nasty critters. Any of the Terrifier experts out there, someone tell me why Art has to take a 5-year nap in this rocking chair. Like, what the hell is going on? And why does Vicky need to get in this disgusting bathtub and split her arm open? Why, Sway? Last thing I thought, for the most part, I like this opening.
Why?
All right. So, man, we agree a lot here, Nico, but let me kind of start at the beginning. I can tell, and I appreciate the haterade, okay? I can just tell by the way that the scene by scene was written that Brian hated every fucking second of doing this. It was great. I enjoyed it. One thing this film accurately represented was women do not care that you have to get up early. They will wake your ass up no matter what instead of doing it themselves. They will wake your ass up no matter rain, sleet, snow, shine, hail, whatever. If it inconveniences them, they're going to wake you up instead. That is an accurate representation. Now,
Marriages are a partnership. You're supposed to be 50-50. Come on. Woman shouldn't have to
Well,
shoulder
too
all
bad
that.
because it's 100. Buddy, it's 100-0 the other way. It's never that
Well,
way.
I mean, they have to suffer childbirth. Come on, give them some slack.
Oh, okay. Now we're defending women. Go fuck yourself. Oh man. Well, I was gonna say, God forbid you ever did that to them, because tough times. It was accurately represented in my opinion. And for you Rudolph fans out there, when Art put on this outfit, I thought, who ever heard of a skinny Santa? Eat, eat. Thank you. That's a Rudolph reference. You're welcome. Merry Christmas, everybody. This house, as a Christmas lover myself, this house is decorated beautifully, by the way. I mean, if we're just being honest, really good garland, nice lights around the rails. This is a good looking house. It looks like Brian Hathaway did this shit. So shout out to this house. Good stuff. I forget how like gruesomely Art kills kids. Like, oh yeah, that's right. This guy is like, now he's kind of like known for being the kid killing clown instead of Pennywise, who just eats them, I guess. But this little girl just kind of stood and watched, didn't scream, nothing, just like so mortified and traumatized. I don't know, maybe. I just got to say, I still like watching Art the Clown do his thing out of context, right? Like once you put it in context, I'm like, ugh. But out of context, yeah, I think he's great when he's laughing. Thornton's truly great in this role. I just wish they would give him a better film. The gore of the movie is something I kind of have to be in the mood for. I'm not against it by any means. We've talked about on this show a lot. I'll take really good kills on screen, but some of these kills feel like that they just run a little long. Like it's extended gore. It's not the gore. It's how long the gore lasts. I'm like, all right, man. Like, come on. Anyway, Art eating the cookie and cleaning the dishes after fucking cracked me up. I thought that shit was hilarious, man. I thought it was awesome. Solid, I agree with you, Nico. Really solid cold open. Like, if it were just that scene, okay, that's a really cool kill. Now, why was he there? Why did he kill these people? We get no explanation for it. It's just, everyone's just there, and they put it in the beginning. Like, I don't know. That feels like a scene you could have done later, maybe? I don't know. Maybe not. But it feels like a scene that's just there to showcase gruesome kills, in my opinion. I like that this is a scene. I feel like, this is a scene we should have gotten in a previous film, honestly. Because why are we going back now? Art has no head. Like, I don't know what's going on. And then he takes the cop's head. Like, none of this is explained to me. Like, so, like, why didn't they show this in the last movie? Like, if we're going back to the night of the first one, or the second? Like, whenever they're going back to, I just don't understand why we didn't get that in the last film. I don't know. Not explained. Didn't like that. Is this woman on the bus dressed like the homeless lady from Home Alone on purpose? That had to be a nod, right? Like, that had to be a little subtle nod because it's a Christmas movie. I thought it looked like her anyway. Vicky and Art, you just made the list. Damn it, Vicky and Art. Son of a bitch. Killing my man, Chris Jericho, Lionheart, Y2J. The Ayatollah of rock and roll. He's got like 80,000 nicknames, okay? He's tried like 80 names, and all of them have gotten over except 2. I think like remember the GFY thing he was doing in AEW, Dustin? That was pretty bad. But outside of that, I thought he gets everything over. And I love Chris Jericho. Big fan, big mark for him. Now, speaking of big mark, Art has a massive ego. This man loved the fact that someone was dressed up like him. You could tell he let that fucker live. I mean, normally that's somebody you would kill. Like, fuck this guy, he's impersonating me. No, Art loved that shit. So a little bit of a different slasher character, in my opinion. You can tell. I feel like Art, and I feel like Dustin will appreciate this. Art only goes into this like coma hiding thing because Vicky, a woman, is bothering the shit out of this man. He even sighs at her. He's like, all right, I'm going to sit in this fucking chair. I'm done with her. I thought it was a decent set of scenes, but we're already getting stuff that I'm like, why is this here? Why is that here? You're not explaining anything to me. You're just putting cool kills on screen. So, I don't know. It feels kind of like a pointless movie at the moment.
You didn't have to put at the moment. But anyway, I usually complain when there's a ton of production company videos before a movie, but this movie had 6. And that was the best part of this movie. The little clips from the different production companies. Kid ruined all of her credibility when she said it was Santa on the roof. Grow up. Like you said, there's someone on the roof. Yeah, that's creepy. Okay, let's check it out. It's Santa. Nah, okay, go back to sleep. But why in God's name would Art be on the roof? Now, you mentioned why is he in this house, like killing these random people in this neighborhood, but why is he on the roof at all? Like, I know he's a showman, but that seems unlikely even for him. Bold call to have the first kills of the movie first kill of the movie be a little boy, but then again, that's what these movies are, shock value. No shot the mom would be able to sleep through her husband being axed beside her for as long as she did. Like, she would have woke up on the first axe strike. And then she just got back into bed like 2 minutes ago. So it's not like she was in a deep sleep. Obvious nod to The Shining with Art putting his head in the hole in the door. I thought that was, I can't give it credit. That was something. Zero awareness from her. Zero awareness from her too. Like, she gets to the door and it's locked, but she didn't expect him to still be pursuing her. She just stopped and was like, oh my God, the door's locked. Also, no shot he would have, or she would have been alive and screaming with as much energy and vigor as she had for as long as she was. That's way too much blood loss and trauma. At the very least, she would have been in shock. And of course, he finds the little girl because she couldn't stay still. I mean, listen, women can't even be quiet to save their own lives, even at a young age. It's crazy. The cop got choked by a headless body because why not? The headless body then takes the cop's head and gets on the bus. Sure. We get Y2J next. Easily the highlight of the movie was his inclusion. Not necessarily his scene or his death, but just him being in it. The lowlight was the beautiful Samantha Scafidi having to wear those prosthetics to hide her lovely face. Shout out to her. She's very nice. But like I said with the second movie, the whole storyline they tried to add just didn't work for me. It was stupid, convoluted, and actually made things worse. I would rather there be no story and just be kills like the first movie as opposed to the story that we got. Speaking of worse, the movie takes another turn for the worse here. Rats. Ooh. And then when this movie doesn't have kills going on, it's insanely boring because the story doesn't make sense and it isn't captivating. So anything between the action just loses me completely. And that certainly was an opening set of scenes that exist in the universe.
Dude, when you said rats, ooh, all I could think about was Shane Gillis as Donald Trump, and the kid said he was Korean. He's like, ooh. Ew. That was so funny to me. Go ahead, Brian.
5 years later, we jump to present day where Sienna is released from a mental health center to stay with her Aunt Jess, her Uncle Greg, and her cousin Gabby, who idolizes Sienna, but has no knowledge of the events from the last movie. I wish I didn't know about them either, Gabby. We cut to the abandoned house where Art and Vicky are woken up, by two demolition workers who are promptly killed, to oversimplify. We cut back to family dinner where Sienna has survivor's guilt and is hallucinating her best friend Brooke, whose death she obviously feels responsible for.
Remix.
All right. Always good to see Sienna Shaw on screen. Finally met Lauren Rivera earlier this year. Super nice. You know, love or hate this franchise, like I've mentioned. Everyone I've met is nice, was a delight to talk to, except that prick, Tom Savini. But, shout out for all your work you've done in the past, but you're not the nicest fellow I've ever met. Gabby, played by Antonella Rose, super nice as well. You know, I just highly recommend you meet anyone from this franchise if you're a convention goer like myself. I think Gabby and Sienna have good chemistry on screen. And shout out friend of the show, John Abrahams. Great to see him in this film. He's making his third appearance on our show, I believe, House of Wax, Scary Movie, and this one. Another awesome horror cameo, Jason Patrick being Sienna's dad. I think that's awesome. I wish we got more of these flashbacks and explanation into Sienna's character and powers. Like, give us more of this. Like, what are we doing? Gabby's tweaking. You can't just start reading someone's diary no matter how close you are. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Nice score as Dennis and Jackson scoped the place out. I thought it was a very ominous score. And seriously, though, why is Art still sitting in this chair 5 years later? What the hell's going on? I thought we gave Candyman hell for taking a little 30-minute power nap. This man's been asleep for 5 years. Can you imagine the wrinkles on Vicky's fingers from sitting in this sludge water so long? Goodness. I have to ask, were these two just taking a nap until another human found them or something? Like, this just makes no sense to me at all. Poor John Abrahams, such a nice fella, gets brutally murdered, just a blue-collar worker trying to make a living, and gets got by a killer clown. We hate to see a man just trying to put food on the table. Mind-blowing to think this glass up the cooch scene was one of Samantha's favorites to shoot. But, like she said, Vicky is a sadist, so I guess it makes sense. I don't know, it's still kind of weird to me. hell of a transition from that, finger or glass blasting your cooch to eating Chinese food around the table. Hell yeah, brother. Nice jump scare with Brooke coming back at the dinner table, but I'm a fan of Kaylee Hyman, so it was good to see her make a cameo. I thought it was another decent set of scenes, and I know Dustin is disgusted to hear me say it was decent. Go ahead.
Glass blasting your cooch was what I was laughing at.
Glass
That's what happened.
I know, but that's got to be the first time in recorded history that those particular words have been strung together in that order.
Yes.
And
yeah. All right. I'll try to comment on the movie fairly. Yeah, I probably would have needed an institution visit after an experience like this too. Like, fuck, man, Art's scary and creepy, and his teeth are disgusting. I don't know. I'd probably see him in my head all the time. The relationship with Sienna and Gabby is great. However, was it earned? There's no establishing of her family outside of like her brother and mom in the first movie at all. And so all of a sudden I'm just supposed to care about her next of kin. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it's good. It's sweet and wholesome, but like not really, because it ends up bad for Gabby. But anyway, it's new to us and it's out of nowhere. I mean, they do a decent enough job making that connective tissue, but I don't know. I just wasn't a fan. Some of the side plot with construction workers, sanitary workers, whatever the fuck they are, serves no purpose except for these guys to be on-screen kills. Now, I don't mind that. I like chalky slasher movies that have this in there, but I don't like, I don't know. For whatever reason, it really does depend on my mood. Sometimes when something hits, you can't explain it, and I'm not sure I need to. So it didn't work for me in this movie. Yeah, I can be a hypocrite. That's fine. By the way, again, as a Christmas aficionado, they chime in a really assy cover of Hark the Herald Angels Sing here. It's terrible. I mean, there's like 10 better covers you could do. Nat King Cole, the kids from Charlie Brown Christmas. Like, come on, man. We got to do a little bit better than this.
You think they got the budget for that? They couldn't clear that.
That's a fair point. Dude, it's probably Damien Leone inside like a solo cup doing it. Sorry, I couldn't help it. You guys can't see me because my internet sucks, but I actually held my hands to my mouth and acted like it was a cup. You guys just didn't see it. Some of this stuff with her dad would have been really great to see in the last movie. Why didn't we get any of this flashback stuff with her dad in part 2? Like, I don't really understand that. And can you imagine someone, if you had a diary, reading your whole ass diary out loud like this? Like, I'm sorry. Anyway, I don't know. There's a lot of this I don't like. It all feels like a plot device to get to the next crazy, gruesome kill. And there's some that's good, right? The kills are gruesome and they look fine, but I feel like a lot of them are just, man, why was he in this chair for so long? Like, I guess I'm just confused with what's going on. Maybe I'm a big old dumb that doesn't get it. Last thing, this family dinner is actually a good scene, but it's frustrating because to me there's scenes like this in a movie that I don't feel like it's meant for. Like, just give me Art killing motherfuckers, man. That's all I want to see now.
I don't have much here. We catch back up Sienna getting out of the loony bin, and they try to give us more story here with her family stuff, and I just couldn't get invested in it. And it drags, my God. And they plant a little seed with her cousin wanting to read her diary. Okay, sure, that's fine. Then we cut back to the two guys working. Their whole saga should have been wrapped up in one much shorter scene. But they drag it out, and we get two more outrageous kills, including Art biting a finger off and Victoria using a glass shard as a dildo while Art rips the guy's scalp off. I'm so exhausted at this point. Lastly, the dinner scene, much like everything else, does absolutely nothing for me. Yeah, she has issues from her trauma. We get it.
Fuck your trauma.
All right, we jump into college. We jump to college, where Jonathan meets his roommate, Cole's girlfriend, Mia, who hosts a true crime podcast. Who would host a podcast? Ah, God, losers. Jonathan gets a call from Sienna, but they struggle to reconnect somewhat over the phone. Back at Art's funhouse, he freezes and kills a rat, and then proceeds to feed it to the other rats, testing out his new liquid nitrogen weapon. We cut to Sienna putting makeup on Gabby, albeit quickly, because we find ourselves at a bar where we see Art, and again, I'm going to big time oversimplify here, shoot two men and kill a Santa Claus impersonator at the bar using the nitrogen and then taking the guy's Santa costume. Again, oversimplified. We cut back to Sienna's aunt and uncle where they argue in bed over Sienna's mental state. And we then cut to Sienna in her bed, writing in her diary where she pulls out an old letter written by Jonathan.
Or I also met Elliot Fulham and Mason McCart. I think that's how you say it. Both of those guys are super awesome. Got to chat with them about fan theories and their death. Really cool. I like this obsessed podcaster approach as well. It's not the first time it's been done, obviously, but it's relevant and believable. I mean, somebody like me, I would never go to like a convention or see someone in person, ask them to be on the podcast. Like, what kind of weirdo does that shit? I would never do that. Sienna lying to Gabby, but who doesn't lie to kids sometimes, right? Art spraying rats with liquid nitrogen. I wonder if he's plotting something more sinister. It's brave to kill an animal on screen as well, even if it's just a rat. Like these animal people, man, they intense. The thought of eating rat meat, though, just makes me beyond disgusted. Ugh. I love to see Daniel Roebuck and Clint Howard on screen. Like, they're just legends. Met both of them this year as well. They're both super nice. Art has elite peripheral vision. He was looking dead ahead walking past his window, but still saw Santa at the bar. Big props to him. Santa having a beer with Art, I think is fun. I like these scenes with Sienna having family moments. After all she's been through, it's nice to see some normalcy for her. And I love the head turn and face that Art makes at Santa. Peeing on Santa is funny, too, because I think every kid worried about that. Speaking of Art and Santa, this scene just goes on way too long to me. It's fun at first, but this could have been trimmed up big time to keep things going. And like I said in the instant reaction back then, thank goodness Art shot the other two guys, or this movie would be 25 minutes longer, for Pete's sake. I will give Daniel Roebuck props. I think he does a fine job pleading for his life. A nice touch of Art taking the beard so he can be a real Santa, like you mentioned earlier. I think Greg has valid concerns here, worrying about Sienna and what could be with her trauma. The last thing I thought was another decent set of scenes, but it just drags in a lot of spots.
Decent. He
Oh.
says these words used to mean things.
Not anymore, brother. Not anymore.
Hey man.
You're living in the past, Dustin. Living in the past, buddy. Words don't mean shit anymore. God.
I wish I could live in a past timeline where this franchise didn't exist.
Hate. Okay. Anyway, bro, this accidental cock block is awful, admittedly, for Jonathan, but Jonathan could have had her, man. Am I right? I mean, he could have swooped right in and took her ass, man. I don't know. Did you see the way she was geeking out over him like he was a celebrity? He could have had it. He was like Lane Kiffin at a sorority house, man. Come on. She was basically throwing himself at her. Again, he could have made Lane Kiffin proud there. Now, I will say, on my watch, and I watched this on Tubi, for those of you asking, there's a KFC pot pie commercial, and now I want one. So that's what I wrote down while writing these notes, because that shit looked pretty good. Actually, the KFC pot pie is delicious. They don't sponsor us, so I'm going to shut the fuck up. I know in previous Terrifier episodes, we've talked about Art's backstory. I just think they've done it all wrong. And one, we still don't know, so let's start there. And catching up with him and Vicky making weapons, like, are these people human? Are they not? We're in the third movie and we don't have any answers. Like, Art has a ton of personality. It's humanistic. And explaining his origin probably would actually help this character more than hurt it. Like, it's not like, Michael or, even Leatherface, Freddie J. Like, they all have an origin story. We kind of know it. We're familiar with it. But, like, at least we know who they are. It's just hard to invest in Art as a killer when I don't really know what the root of his evil is, because he's too humanistic, I guess. I don't know. Thornton is great in the moment. The moment he enters that bar, he's great. This scene with him as Santa, it's fucking hilarious, man. Like, I think it's seriously really funny shit. And the scene is broken up with Sienna and her aunt sharing a nice moment. Why? Well, why is that there when we could have just got 12 minutes of a cool bar scene? Like, I don't know. It felt really fucking stupid to me. And, as Steve Austin once said to Ric Flair, or was it Arn Anderson, as he unzipped his trousers and said, better to be pissed off than to be pissed on. It's a Monday Night Raw segment there, brother. I do stand by Art using a gun is totally fine. That we're in 3 movies here. It's consistent with the character. I have no problem with Art using a gun, but that's still like, is he human? Who is this fucking guy? Now, the nitrogen gun, cool weapon, all right? Not as cool as any of the nitrogen they use in Jason X, because that's a significantly better movie than Terrifier 3. Great fucking kills. Much better than this one. But anyway, I think for this universe, this is actually a pretty good scene. Honestly, this is Christmas horror done well, which normally I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah, we catch back up with our nerdy little brother Jonathan, and that whole scene just annoyed me. It's very derivative to me. I don't feel like it did anything creative or new, and it didn't do anything. It didn't improve upon anything we've seen before. And we cut back to Art, who has liquid nitrogen now, because of course he does. Why wouldn't he have that? The Santa is played by Daniel Roebuck, who you mentioned. Man, he's been in everything from one of my favorite shows, Monk, to several Rob Zombie movies, to Final Destination, to one of my favorite comedies, Money Talks. Between him and Clint Howard, I'm not sure who I'm more shocked by their appearance in this movie. That is two people that I just did not expect to be in this franchise. Chris Jericho, I get it because he loves horror. It's kind of like Rhea Ripley wanting to be in the next one. Like, I get that. But these are two established actors. Those checks must have cleared good. I will admit, Art pulling out a random wallet to show ID at the bar, that was funny. Like, that part, that's the best part of the movie. He just pulled out a random wallet. It's like, here, and it's a black guy. And he's like, this is you? That was funny.
It was Jackson.
Jackson.
The guy Vicky killed.
Oh, yeah. But still, that's funny.
It was funny, though.
Then it gets right back to bad, though. We see how Art got the Santa suit, but where did he get the wig? Santa was not wearing a wig. So, okay. Made sure to get the beard, though. Grossly. And we're halfway through.
I just want to say that Daniel Roebuck, that man to take a role. Because respectfully, Mr. Sean Whalen, respectfully, he was in that movie Crust with him, and that movie was not good.
Yeah.
We open up at the mall. And now, presumably, timeline-wise, we're caught up after Art's already killed the family at the start of the movie now. Sienna's there with her aunt and cousin. Santa takes a break. The real Santa takes a break. Sienna starts to hear the Clown Cafe music over the loudspeakers and sees Art walking by the window, stopping and waving to her. She believes it was a hallucination, kind of. And cut to Jonathan at the food court listening to Mia's true crime podcast, where he finds out that people believe Sienna is the prime suspect for all of the murders in the last movie. Sienna joins him and meets Cole and Mia, who fanboy over Sienna, and then she rightfully snaps on her for it. She tells Jonathan that she saw Art today, and Jonathan tries to tell her that it's not over, regardless of them cutting their head off, and it's using Victoria Hayes as a host now. Great plot progression. Oh, eye roll. Anyway, back at the mall, Art has now subbed in for Santa, and he's not quite the backup quarterback the kids hope for here. He hands out a bunch of gifts, though, to the kids, and it turns out they're explosives, which explode and kill several kids. Back in Jonathan's dorm room, he takes paroxetine, which I take, and you can't just fucking eat a bunch and calm down, by the way. That's just not how that works. But hey, I didn't do the research for this movie. We end this set of scenes with Art entering the dorm, and we hear Mia trying to convince Cole to get the interview with Jonathan and Sienna for the podcast.
All right, yeah. Mike kind of mentioned it. Sienna is laying in bed. Shout out to the Foot Gang. I'm sure they love this scene with Sienna on the bed. If you pause it on the scene showing the letter with Jonathan, it explains what Art and the little pale girl are and how they came to be. It's kind of lazy. I mean, I don't disagree with Dustin there. It's kind of lazy. Just a demon brought him back. I mean, okay. They didn't really kind of establish anything like that in the first one, but in part two, all of a sudden demons are bringing him back. But anywho, moving on. Sienna learning of Jonathan's changes and life is nice. Small indication he's trying to be different, move on than from what happened 5 years ago. And I don't care what anyone says. The Clown Cafe song, that's a banger of a tune. Go debate a wall. I like that song. Very awkward first interaction between Sienna and Jonathan. Another valid crash out here with Sienna snapping on Mia. You know, the nerve of people to ask victims to be on their podcast, like all their experiences, like they were jokes or just kind of using them. Not the biggest fan of the strained relationship between the siblings either. Like those two went through so much in the previous film. You know, they were strong together, fought hard together. I wish they were still close and like he believed her more. I'm just not a fan of that choice. For as long as this movie is, one of the most frustrating parts of it is what they left out. The first example was Sienna not going back to get her sword. They should have shown that. Cut some of these kills down by 10 minutes. Art as Mall Santa, I think is fun and devious. But I think these parents are pretty accurately depicted, not really paying attention to what's going on. They're on their phones. Kids kind of just doing whatever they want. You know, I'm not speaking of all parents, of course, but this is a lot of parents nowadays. Something very noticeable throughout the film is all the Christian religious music and imagery. Like, I wonder, like, why that was chosen. I don't know. Corey, the little kid, he gone. Ain't no present, bitch. Shout out to Plies. That's a bomb. Jonathan taking pills and crashing out. I hate to say it, but it just makes me laugh. It's just hard for me to take him seriously, like smashing all this stuff. Like, he just doesn't look like a rage kind of guy. And why does Sienna put her sword in a damn box and wrap it in the first place? I know why for the ending, but that just doesn't make any sense to me. It's just a weird choice. Art somehow never fails to find a snazzy pair of sunglasses. Them Christmas joints is fire. They're those. I like those better than them yellow ones from the second one. Sienna catches Gabby reading her journal again. Sorry, Gabby, you don't get a pass because you're a little kid. You can't do that. Like, you got to be respectful. You know, I can't even fault Cole begging Jonathan to go on this pod at this point. Mia, I think she's quite convincing here, if you know what I'm talking about, if you've seen the movie. Last thing I got, laughed at Art getting upset that she denies wanting to fuck him. Like, I thought that was funny. Go ahead, Mike.
uh, sorry, hold on. Okay. Look, he doesn't. So the line, he doesn't listen to metal anymore. I don't know. I feel like the switch up after the art stuff would make me listen to metal even more. Like, yeah, let's fucking rage. You know, you're right though. Though Nico, it's kind of a hard. I don't know. Jonathan's kind of a hard character to believe sometimes, and this trauma stuff with Sienna in the mall, I think is good. Like, a movie showing this is great. I just think it's kind of spliced in with stuff that doesn't fit it. I don't know. Like, pick what kind of movie you want to be and stick there. And I agree. For anybody that's like a victim of this, of a famous case, probably wouldn't watch YouTube videos about yourself. Just throwing that out there. Imagine fangirling someone that introduces himself as a true crime enthusiast, bro. Especially one of the victims. That is insane work. Are you fucking kidding me? And I love how Lauren Rivera does this scene. I think she's great here. It's exactly how someone should treat this bitch, in my opinion. She comes with zero respect to the situation. Jonathan trying to move on without dealing with it. You know what that sounds like, guys? A man. That's what we do around here. Can't be having all these feelings. Got to push them deep down and just move on. That's what it's about right here. I do think Christmas is a great backdrop for Art. His look and his look as Santa makes him even creepier to me. And I just don't care. I just don't care about the character of Vicky. I think that's it. Like, I just don't really know if I need like a Art sidekick again. Like, we've done that. And I don't know. Just not for me. Horrifying and hilarious with Art in the chair of Santa. Like, I would run out ASAP as soon as I saw this guy walk in, and Art kills more kids. Okay, we get it. Another house that's decorated great, by the way. So shout out to the really solid Christmas vibes. And again, Gabby's a little too old to just be snooping in this diary. Man, I'd hit her outside the head with it and tell her get the fuck out of my room is what I would do. Last thing I have, is this guy insinuating, or is she insinuating that scattering pics of Art the Clown around the room would have like gotten her to give up the biscuit? Like, I mean, I don't know. I'd take one look at her. I'd have Art everywhere. Let's get it. We got to get after it. That's all I got.
Yeah, Sienna having more PTSD at the mall. It does make sense, but why would she know that was him dressed as Santa? Like, she doesn't know about the Santa suit. To me, that was very convenient and lazy. She's like, oh, there's a guy wearing a Santa suit. That must be Art. Just didn't add up. Then Jonathan's annoying-ass classmates show up. I hate everything about their characters. Literally everything. And then, what do? Call the cops? Tell our family? No, they'll never believe us. So cliche. Come on. Then Art blows up the mall covered in blood and just gets away scot-free. All those witnesses, and he just strolls out. Sure. Generational crash out by Jonathan in his dorm. The most interesting his character has been all franchise. And then it gets boring again. To me, the rest of the set of scenes, nothing remarkable and noteworthy, just bland story.
Moving along now, we open up with the news report from the mall explosion, and Sienna starts freaking out and tells her aunt and uncle that the Miles County Clown is back and freaks the fuck out. Greg calls Jonathan to warn him about being in danger and asks if she retrieved her father's sword. Greg leaves to collect Jonathan, while back at the dorm room, Art, and again, I'm oversimplifying here, kills Mia and Cole with a chainsaw while they're taking a shower together. We cut back to the Shaw residence and Gabby gets out of bed. Back at college, Greg gets a weird call from Jonathan, but it's pretty clearly not Jonathan. We see Sierra dreaming about her father and of angels crafting the armor from her warrior costume that he drew for her. That's real life. She awakens and hears who she thinks is Greg and Jess talking about her worsening condition downstairs. But when she walks down there, she walks into the dining room and instead, of course, finds Art and Victoria decorating Greg's decapitated body that is pinned to the wall like a crucifixion. She tries to run back upstairs, but let's go with incapacitated by Art with a mallet. When she regains consciousness, she finds her and Jess tied to chairs with their mouths taped shut. Victoria shows them a skinless head being consumed by the rats in a cage, telling Jess that it is, in fact, young Gabby's head. Jessica spits in Vicky's face, and may God have mercy on our souls, because the ending is up next.
And now it's time for Sienna to start getting scared. 5 people dead at the mall you were at, and knowing that you saw Art there. Tom Savini cameo is awesome. I've kind of been mean to him, calling him a prick. I mean, he just really wasn't the nicest person I've ever met at a convention. Kind of kept it business as usual and kept it pushing. But anywho, Sienna instantly goes into panic mode. I get it, but I can also stand her family being a bit freaked out by this. We're at the 1 hour, 24-ish minute mark, and I can't believe this is the last time we see Jonathan. Like, what happens to him in this movie is one of my biggest issues. Like, I do not care for this choice at all. Jess admits Greg is right. Dustin, any thoughts on this about the woman admitting her husband is right? I would love to know them before I keep going on, if you got any feedback.
That's probably the most unbelievable thing about this movie. That doesn't happen. I would believe that demons possess a clown more than I believe that a woman's admitting her wrongs.
Appreciate that. Beautiful insight. Thank you. Art taking a leap before he goes and murders 2 people brutally with a chainsaw. Like, to me, that's hilarious. Like, I don't know why. Really appreciate this film showing us and letting us hear a chainsaw being crunk up and not firing up immediately. Like, I know you two got to give that at least a bit of credit. These chainsaw shower kills are very brutal and over the top. And I had a lot of fun chatting with Mason about this kill. Him getting the script and seeing what happened to him. Such a nice fella. And Dustin, he's from the beautiful state of Tennessee like you are. So maybe he gets a little bit of props from you. Mia, you ain't got to worry about that podcast anymore. She gone. I still believe that this chainsaw up the gooch is just a mirror of what happened to Dawn in part 1. And it's just in there to kind of fend off the misogynistic claims that the franchise has. How does Greg think he's at the right place, though, to pick up Jonathan? Like, this place doesn't look like a dorm at all. Happy to see another flashback with Sienna and her dad, reiterating I wanted more of these kind of scenes and less long, drawn-out art kills. But kind of like Brian mentioned, maybe Damien's just thinking of kill scenes and putting story around it. I don't know. Confusing scene here. We got this collector-looking demon guy held by Mary making Sienna's armor. What the hell is going on? Sienna gets got by the fake voices. Nice little pop sing Vicky with the crown of thorns. Poor Greg, decapitated, dick cut off, gutted, crucified to the wall. It's rough out here for Greg. I laugh out loud every time that Art smacks Sienna in the back of the head walking by. I think that's genuinely funny. I couldn't imagine being a parent being told this skull in the bird cage is my daughter's, though. That's very terrifying. Not a fan of this distorted Vicky voice. Just let Samantha use her own voice. I don't like the distorted one. And also, not sure how Sienna isn't more injured. She's taking an ass whooping right now. Ready for the ending.
Good stuff with the trauma. But I'm almost just like Dustin, which I can't believe I'm agreeing with him here. We get it. You have drama like that. Yeah, I kind of feel that way. And it's probably because we've covered 10,000 movies on this show now that deal with trauma. It's like Jamie Lee Curtis. Trauma. Okay, we get it. So I understand where you're coming from. And
well, it's not even just that she has trauma. Like, I'm fine with them. It's just how they portray it. It's like I don't care. I don't care about her story.
Yeah. Well, in this movie, in this universe, she's kind of just there. Like, I think people are here to see Art do crazy kills, like trying to give it a more fleshed out story at this point in the game. I don't know. It's not horribly acted or anything. I don't know. Not hitting like I want it to. And the family doesn't believe her, and that's annoying. How can they be so sure that everyone is safe now? Like, this movie's annoying as hell, or these characters are annoying, which I'm sure is the whole point. Now, and then it gets absolutely fucking ruined. This is one of the worst kills this kill fucking sucks, man. And Nico, you hit the nail on the head. This is only in here because of the chainsaw kill from the first one, and people complained about how it was misogynistic and this is equal representation of the same thing happening to a guy. Look, man, You're looking too deep. A kill is a kill. It's just a shitty slasher movie, man. These movies don't have to mean as much as you want them to mean. It was just a girl hanging upside down and chainsawed her in half. That's it. And so then we have to suffer through whatever the fuck this kill is. And it's gruesome and it's gross, but I don't know. I just think it doesn't belong. And by the way, I didn't necessarily love the chainsaw kill in the first one either. I mean, it was kind of original at that time to my eyes anyway. And I was like, oh shit. This one I'm kind of like, congrats on the floppy cock and balls, man. I don't know what else to say about it. That's just what we saw. I mean, don't lie. A chainsaw up the butt in the gooch, and we saw some floppy cock and balls. I don't know what else to say here, man. This movie should only go on for about another 10 minutes. Before Dustin says anything, I know you should have thought it never been made. I understand. But since we're watching it, it should only go on for about another 10 minutes. But guess what? It fucking doesn't. Okay? At the start of this final showdown, this final thing should be 10 minutes tops. It's a good build. We're here, and I'm kind of enjoying it. And then they're just drawing it out, and they're using Vicky, and they're telling her story, and I just don't care. I will say, I did get a good laugh out of Art using the intestines as like tree garland on the tree. Gross, but I thought it was pretty funny. Last thing, the unwrapping scene is good, but I'm just ready for the end, man. I'm ready for this to be done.
So before I get started, like you said, it's just a silly slasher. It doesn't have to mean anything. I hear you, but this one's trying to mean something. Like them adding all this story is what
Correct.
makes it worse than
Correct.
the first movie. Like,
correct, 100%.
just
Oh yeah, we talked about it in the first one.
Yeah.
You know, at least that movie didn't try to do that. It was just kills.
and at the time, I thought that I hated that. I thought,
me too.
This movie is nothing but kills. This is so stupid. Now I'm
Sure.
longing for it because he can't write a good story.
Me too.
So yeah, we get Tom Savini here. That's cool. Then the shower sex kills. Add to the list of things that just make sense for his franchise. That's derogatory, by the way. That would be finding another franchise. Because they, of course, just took it too far with the excessive gore. Chainsawing her titties, and then sodomizing bro with the chainsaw. Just end this garbage. Then Sienna's little hallucination of a dream. Okay. Like all things, they just took it too far with the weird direction. The crown of thorns and nailing the body to the wall like Christ. That was another thing I hated. Movies that have a unique take on religion or do, sacrilegious things in movies is one thing, but that's just like when you're already doing so many things that I hate, and then you do these things. I just didn't like it. But I will say, Greg, he wouldn't have been nailed to the wall like Christ if it wasn't for a woman. I mean, after all, Sienna is related to his wife. So there you go. It's her fault. He'd still be alive. Make better decisions, man. Look into the entire bloodline before you marry and procreate with a woman. That's all I'm saying.
Jesus Christ.
The head in the birdcage with the rats. It's gross. I could not be any more ready for this to end.
Oh, Dustin.
By God, here is the ending. Art and Vicky proceed to kill Jess by hammering a tube into her throat, forcing rats down it and promptly slitting her throat afterwards. Art enters with Gabby as a hostage and then tells Sienna that the head is actually Jonathan's head. The blasphemy continues, though, as Vicky then places a crown of thorns on Sienna's head and tries to possess her, but she resists. Before Sienna and Gabby could be sentenced to death, the latter pleads for Sienna to open a present of hers, which, unbeknownst to anyone not in the audience, contains Sienna's father's sword. Art smashes both of Sienna's hands, then cuts her bonds so that she can open up a present, I guess with her teeth. Sienna then uses the sword to cut Art's throat and decapitate Victoria. As Art and Sienna battled each other with a sword versus chainsaw, somehow, we see Victoria's body disintegrate and turn into a pool of demonic blood that burns through the floor and opens a portal to hell. Despite Sienna's not-so-best efforts, which include holding a human body's weight up with a blade of that sword, Gabby falls into the abyss along with the sword. Art seizes his opportunity to escape through a window and boards a city bus, whilst Sienna looks down at her wounded hands and they instantly heal with Wolverine powers now. Vowing to find and rescue Gabby 2 brutal hours later, that's the fucking ending.
I laughed immediately at Sienna getting smacked again in the back of the head. Like, I think that is funny. As soon as I saw Art pick this tube up, I knew where this is going. I think it's Too Fast, Too Furious, what they do with rats, a movie I have seen, guys. This rat scene, holy shit, is my nightmare. Like, keep rats away from me. I like this scene with Vicky trying to break Sienna's spirit so that her demon can take her over. I am not a fan of this skull being Jonathan at all. He's a character that should be killed on screen. We shouldn't wonder if it's actually him or not. I laughed at Vicky saying it was a shitty rapping job to Gabby. I did think that was funny. Sienna with mangled, broken hands and a banged-up shoulder manages to open up a wrapped-up present somehow. All right? I guess Philippians 4:13 here. Another big problem here, the film established earlier in this movie itself that this sword could kill any demon. Sienna slashes Art's throat. Why is he still alive later? And he gets stabbed through the gut. I mean, I know Vicky gets more carnage, but still, like, she died pretty quick. Gabby, what are you doing? Calling out mommy when she's got a tube down her throat and a gaping hole out of her neck. I thought it was hilarious. Like, come on, kid. Like, mommy ain't answering you back. Art whipping Sienna with intestines I thought was funny as well. Art gets stabbed in the gut with the all-powerful sword and still survives. I think Dad was lying to his daughter about how powerful his sword is. Gabby, unclutched as can be, losing grip of the sword and falling into hell. You know, I'm calling it now. She's still alive in Terrifier 4 when they go to hell inevitably. Last thing I got, as the film ends, the driver of the bus is Phil Falcone, longtime producer of the Terrifier franchise. And the book is The Ninth Circle, which is also the title of the short film when Art the Clown makes his first appearance.
Nico laughs at some crazy shit.
I just thought it was funny. Like,
I know.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
I don't know.
You can say it. Say it.
You tell me, you psycho.
The fuck? All right. This tube shit is nasty as fuck. What is happening, man? And this ending is just 15-ish minutes too fucking long. And I'm with you, or I'm not with you. But Dustin, you mentioned some of the religious stuff. I don't know what kind of tonal shift this was going for. Like, this takes and I honestly can't tell what it's trying to say. Is it religious? Is it anti-religious? Like, I don't know, man. It strikes me as just trying to add way too much context and subtext to a situation that isn't required. There is no God speech. The way they slice Sienna's hands, I don't know. It felt like a lot of shit trying to be shoved into a little bag. I don't know. I will say positives, and then I'll end here. I love Sienna. I think she's great, the way she fights off Vicky and Art, but I don't even know how you would kill these people since we know they can't be. And Gabby is going to hell like Kenny did in South Park. I don't know if I'm sure that wasn't a reference, but God, it looked just like Kenny going to hell in the South Park movie.
Yeah, the tube with the rodent, that was gross, but I couldn't help but think of Richard Gere. If you know, you know. The revelation that the head was Jonathan did nothing for me. This movie could not possibly shock me or get me invested at this point. Gabby tricking Art and Victoria into letting her open the present, that was so dumb. No, they wouldn't. Oh, she did get to open her present. Sorry, you're dead. Realistically, based on their track record. And Sienna turned into Duncan MacLeod the way she cut Victoria's head off. That was impressive. That's a Highlander reference, Nico. And
I didn't get it, so I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I hated how Art just started running at her with a crank chainsaw. Like, that must be that new push to start model, like you mentioned. Come on. Then the sword fight. Listen, she is holding that sword pretty well considering her hands were mangled. He smashed both of her hands with a hammer. And she had a kung fu grip. Give me a break. Their fight went on way too long and was way too disgusting. Then Gabby fell through the floor into the portal of hell, a.k.a. any woman's bedroom. And Sienna made the dumbest Sienna made the dumbest decision I've ever seen. Of all the things that you could use, you try to save her with a sword. Like, you give her the handle to a sword and you're going to hold on to the blade of a sword. Of course your hands are going to get bloodied and cut up and weak. Be for real right now. And she says she'll find her. Why not? Yeah, let's make a fourth where they go to hell and fight Saddam Hussein. Why not? The ending here drags on way too long, but finally, it's over.
God.
That's another South Park reference.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that was funny. All right, let's jump into our social media comments and questions. I'll do Instagram first. Niece_384 commented, awesome. Can play catch up before I meet Gabby on Sunday. Anybody, well, by the time you listen to this, it's going to be past, but Gabby's going to be in Ocala. It's Scared Ice doing a little pop up flea market if you want to go meet her. Cheyenne and T commented, OMG, can't wait. Love this movie. My favorite of the franchise so far. Dustin, any thoughts on that? Fan of the show, Cheyenne and Turner?
Oh, okay. Sorry, Cheyenne.
Mitch RT93 commented, such a lovely, wholesome Christmas movie for the entire family to enjoy. The shower scene and the rat scene. Can't wait for the review with the metal emoji. Hell yeah, brother. Fizzy Lizzy 777 commented, what do we think of the rat scene? Wasn't a fan.
Gross.
I don't like rats at all. They're disgusting.
Ew.
Fucking gross. Hate rats. Ew.
Ew. Last comment we got is from Dana Tucker 48. Merry Christmas to me with the hand clap emoji. She's just ready to hear Dustin and Brian shit all over this movie.
Hopefully I emptied my bowels enough for her.
That was weird.
That was a weird way to put it.
It was very weird.
That was odd. You want to redo that one, buddy?
Very weird. Dustin, you got the old X's and blue skies pulled up?
I do. We had two. They were both on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter. Casey Smith said, what's up, guys? Do you think the Terrifier series would be anywhere near as successful without David Howard Thornton playing Art? I think he's the secret sauce, and that's why the character works so well. Basically a Robert Englund / Freddy Krueger situation. 7 out of 10 for me. Later, boys. Yeah, I mean, he does do it really well. It's hard to say, though, because anyone's going to look good when you're the only bright spot in a pile of crap.
Here's my question, though. This is no disrespect to the former guest of the show, but, I mean, I don't feel like other people couldn't do what he's doing.
Yeah.
Agreed. I agree.
Now, he is very nuanced, and he has some great facial expressions, but,
yeah,
I don't know.
No,
anyway,
someone's
no
already done
disrespect.
art before him, and it wasn't good.
I think he's great, but I mean, I don't. This isn't a role that somebody else couldn't do in the future,
Yeah, he's definitely an improvement over whoever played him in All Hallows Eve, but that movie was significantly worse all the way around. So that could be part David Howard Thornton. That could be part Leone, getting more comfortable making movies and directing. I don't know. They all suck. Andrew Ferguson said, I enjoyed it, but I think the film would be tighter without the extended gore. Do y'all think the skull at the end was actually her brother? I find it hard to believe that he would have been an off-screen kill. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see it being more mind games, but who knows? Asking me to predict what's going to come next in this franchise is like asking me to predict where a woman wants to eat. No one knows.
No one knows.
I
don't think Jamie Leone has no idea, and he's probably filming it. No idea.
I asked Elliot about that. I told him I wasn't a fan of it, and Elliot said that he was dead, but who knows? But I told him my theory that they only did it that way because they wanted to test fan reaction, and they can say technically we didn't kill him off screen, and that could be any skull, and that could be any pair of glasses,
Yeah.
True.
That's
all right. Book of Faces. Steve Schmidt. That guy here posting on the Book of Faces because I didn't see this on X. Finally, something to give Dustin restless lip syndrome with the hate-laced review he's about to layeth the smackdown. We all know these movies exist solely for their shock value by way of over-the-top gore, and trying to insert a storyline is about as useless as the G in lasagna. This movie stinks worse than a refried bean fart in a closed elevator. That's very, very true. Very nice to put. After watching this pig shit film, my eyes served me papers and filed for divorce. My favorite kill was Dustin's soul when Mike picked this, and my least favorite kill was my remaining pieces of dignity after watching something so putrid. 1 out of 10 for me. Love the show, fellas.
Hey, A+ review right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, great stuff. That was hilarious.
And top fan Sean Irwin, movie was somehow the best of the franchise. but still only managed to hit okay. Definitely way too long and drawn out. Also, the first one to have some semblance of a story instead of just gore after gore. I agree to
Well,
disagree there, buddy.
Sean, that tracks, brother. You said this is the best of the franchise. That makes so much sense. We love you, pal. Um,
Two is
it
the
did have a
best.
story, but the story sucked.
All right, guys, you got any fun facts you want to share?
I got a few. Uh, Damien Leone said that several big studios showed interest in financing this movie based on the unexpected success of Terrifier 2, even without a full script. But he turned them all down because he's certain they would have never let him film the opening scene alone, which he described as very controversial. He commented that the only reason he can be so uncompromising in his depiction of horror and gore is because he finances his movies independently. And he creates all the special effects himself to keep costs down, and has no big studio breathing down his neck to make the movie more mainstream. Okay. This is the first horror film since Saw 3 2006 to receive the 18 rating in France, meaning no one under 18 is admitted. It's the equivalent of NC-17 in the U.S. You already said the one about Rosemary Castavetti. That's cool. Rosemary's Baby reference there. And the last one I've got is Clint Howard and Daniel Roebuck. They were both in Rob Zombie's Halloween with the late legend Sid Haig, who was in Bone Tomahawk with David Arquette.
Did y'all share?
Great movie.
Did y'all share the fun fact about the legendary makeup artist John Caglione Jr.?
Uh-uh.
He was most famous for working on the Dark Knight's Joker makeup. He told Damien Leone that he was a fan of Terrifier 1 and 2 and offered to work on the film, and Leone quickly accepted. That's the guy in Christopher Nolan's movie. He liked Terrifier 1 and 2. Just throwing that out there.
He's not Christopher Nolan.
You know what's funny to me? Like, Dustin, you've seen the clip with when Rich Eisen is interviewing Christopher Nolan. He asked him, like, what's a remote dropper movie for Christopher Nolan? And he said Talladega Nights.
Talladega Nights, yeah.
If you ain't first or last. Like, just hearing Chris Nolan say, like, if you ain't first or last, that made me laugh so hard.
Yeah, I agree. That's hilarious.
My budget man.
Gotcha, bud. And first of all, Brian, fuck you. Bo Tomahawk stinks. Anyway, the production budget for this movie was $2 million. And like you mentioned, self-funded or crowdfunded, however you want to put it. Now, this is going to, I can't believe I'm going to say this, Dustin. This movie made $90.3 million worldwide on a $2 million budget. Fucking believable. Independent horror film. Yeah, you did.
Regrettably.
You did. Me and Brian did too. We totally watched it on the up and up and not from home.
So when I go to the movies, I don't get up during the movie unless I'm about to piss myself.
Sure.
I make sure I have my drink or hot dog or nachos before I go sit down. This movie, I couldn't take it. I got up and went to the concessions, and I made sure to have like a 5-minute conversation with the guy working at concessions just because I did not want to go back in there.
And I remember you telling that story. Then you said when you went back in, they were still on the same kill.
Still in the same one.
All right, guys, on to our favorite kill, least favorite kill, and the rating. Dustin, I'm excited to hear how low you rate this one.
Favorite kill is Jericho. The effects did look solid, and he was just my favorite thing about the movie in general. Shout out to Chris Jericho. We would love to have you on the show. Least favorite kill, I mean, besides, like the comments said, my dignity from watching it. But I'll go with the kids in the open because, look, it's dark, and these movies are already shocking enough without having to kill two kids who are just wanting to see Santa Claus. Rating. I'm just going to read my Letterboxd review for my final thoughts here. I don't know what my favorite. This is, I saw this in November of 2024, but it still stands. I don't know what my favorite movie of the year is so far, but I know what my least favorite is, and it's not close. This movie goes back and forth between obnoxiously gory and painstakingly boring. It's a remarkable balance. I'm admittedly not a fan of the first two in the franchise, but this one takes the cake as being the worst entry. I gave it a 0. I was going to go lower, but I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to try to not do that and completely skew our composites anymore. 0 is the absolute bottom for me now, and that's where this one is.
You hate this more than Screamboat?
Yes. Yep.
Damn. Okay. Hey, I get it. I'll go next. Favorite?
Jimmy and Stiggs and this movie are the two least favorite ones I've watched this year.
Dude, Jimmy and Stiggs was bad. Like that,
Oh,
I was losing brain cells watching that movie. Our favorite kill. Which one? What is my favorite kill in this movie? I really don't know. I'll go with Jericho as well, just because I really like Chris Jericho, and the kill did look good. Least favorite kill, if it really happened, I'm going Jonathan. He should have been killed on screen. He's a main character. He was established from the previous one. Like, I think it's really lazy to not kill him on screen. I don't want to hear no crap that you ran out of time, because I'm sure Dustin, Brian, y'all saw the fun fact that Damian Leone actually had to remove like 5 to 10 pages of the script from the ending. Like, so the ending was actually even longer. So thank Christ they did eliminate some of that, because it's already just too long.
I'm sure we'll get it in Terrifier 4 as a flashback. I
can't wait for that 3-hour movie. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Dustin's going to be at the concession stand for 30 minutes getting a snack, a drink. He's going to call Uber Eats and everything.
I'm probably going to save my poop that day so I can time it perfectly to where I have to take a dump in the middle of that movie.
There you go. Like I said, this movie was disappointing to me just from what I wanted from it. But I can still turn it on and just watch it anytime. Like, just have it on for background noise. It's a fun little Christmas movie. I give it 5.75.
Okay. My favorite kill, I don't know. I picked the dude being Scalp Dennis because it reminded me of my People's Glory days. My least favorite kill, the two dudes that got shot at the bar. Even though I'm kind of glad that it happened, so we didn't get a longer set of scenes. So, what? Something I said?
Your People's Glory days.
You gotta scalp them Seminoles. You gotta win those games. Oh, sorry.
No, keep going. All right, so, and I'll make this short and sweet since I've talked all night. This is as fucked up as a soup sandwich. So many ways. In short, actors, love them. Movie, hate it. 1.75 from me. Same score I gave Terrifier 2.
Yeah, I think my favorite kill is probably the brain ripped open. I thought that was kind of fun, unique, different. My least favorite is whatever the fuck they were trying to do in the shower. Just not for me. Like, I don't know. It had nothing to do with it being I just felt like it's only in there to get people to be like, oh, see, they did the thing to a guy that they did to a girl. Uh-oh. It's like, yeah, all right, well, fuck it, whatever. Yeah, I feel worse about it than I did when I watched it the first time. There's some good kills, and there's definitely stuff to kind of keep my interest, but there's also a lot of stuff that just doesn't. And for whatever reason, on this most recent rewatch, I liked it less. I still think 2 is probably the best one of these 3 if I had to rank them. I think 2, 1, 3 in that order would be my ranking for sure. Just quickly, and when we get a 4th, we'll see. But I think definitely 2, 1, 3 would be the ranking. Yeah, all in all, I thought it was fine. It's 2 hours for no reason. Nice, tight 90-minute bow, I think, would have been really, really good for this movie in particular. I gave it a 3.75.
All right. That gives us a composite score of, this is high, 2.8125. IMDb has it at a 6.3. Letterboxd 2.8 out of 5. Rotten Tomatoes 78%. But don't let it fool you. I did some digging. All of the critic reviews that I saw on Rotten Tomatoes were from publications or podcasts that you've never heard of. So it's not like the Chicago Times is reviewing this movie favorably or RogerEbert.com. No. So I don't think legit critics actually watch this movie. So 78%, take that for what it's worth. And also,
how do we get to be critics on there? Can we sign up for that shit?
I don't know. Maybe that's your department, brother. Also, I will say this: Elf with Will Ferrell, the Jim Carrey Grinch movie, and this are my least favorite Christmas movies of all time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Alrighty.
Those two amazing classics lumped with Terrifier 3. Unbelievable.
Well, that was Terrifier 3 review, guys. All right. Yeah, I got what I expected out of that one. Let's shout out our blood donors, and then I'll announce my pick for next week. Blood donors, legendary. Don't announce until after Christmas. Okay. I just Ron Burgundy that one. Just kidding. I actually did that on purpose. I'm not telling you who it is until after Christmas. Nina, Michelle Mirza, Steve Schmidt, Matt from the UK, and Anthony Andrews. Camp counselor reoccurring Edward Hernandez Gunn, Joe Swinford, Adrian Aiello, Brian Samick, Andrew Ferguson, Brooke Maley, Heather Superdot, Jennifer Davis from Too Close to Home Pod, Dana Tucker, Cole McAlexander, Max K, Amanda Pettiford, and Death Curse Casey. Really appreciate y'all. I can't stress it enough. We can't stress it enough that you help take a big burden off of us, help us pay the bills, because it's not free to make this. So sincerely, we appreciate it. My pick next week is 2011's. I got the physical media right here, boys. Wrong Turn 4. I will fully acknowledge right now that this is not any kind of cinema. It's just a cheesy B slasher movie. But it's in the wintertime. It's wintertime. I actually have fun with it. It's silly gore, silly characters. We need to review these kind of movies. And Dustin has kind of convinced all of us in January to do a certain kind of theme. So I figured this was a great time to pick this movie to kind of get us warmed up for that theme. So Wrong Turn 4 next week.
Well, and, coming off of this week, when we do Wrong Turn 4, it's going to look like a cinematic masterpiece, just by comparison. So
True.
I don't know, guys. I don't know if you'll feel that way.
Do we have to watch? Do we have to watch them do Wrong Turn 2 and 3?
No,
to be
this
able
is a
to
prequel.
understand.
This is a prequel.
It's yeah, no.
a flashback episode, you got to be kidding me.
It is.
Dustin, didn't you want to know like how the three brothers, like how they came to be from Wrong Turn?
Yeah. I don't know.
Well,
Did I say that?
You're getting that next week.
Hell, Ricky, I was high when I said that. You could be fourth, fifth. Hell, you could even be sixth.
Anyway,
Whatever
Wrong
he
Turn
says.
4 next week. We'll be back next week, guys. Appreciate y'all tuning in.
Good night to Chris Jericho in Canada.
Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you next week. And in the meantime, take care of yourself.
Just want to remind everybody.